Today, we're working with our ever-bearing raspberries. We've already had some decent frosts. We had frosts of -6, -7. The nutrients and sap have already gone to the roots of the raspberry. It's ready to be cut. Today, I want to talk about some things about raspberries. I see from the comments that people are interested in how to get ever-bearing raspberries to fruit twice a year, to fruit in early summer and then in late summer, September, October. We have berries right up to November. It's a very good crop. Raspberries are one of those crops that require the least care, but give much more in terms of berries and yield. First, let's talk about getting it to fruit twice. There are a lot of questions about this. A lot of people are interested in this. Look, this raspberry has already fruited. We picked some berries, some we didn't. Look how much it produced. It produced a lot. To get this raspberry to fruit again, we need to prune this cane. We step back from the top, where the raspberry was actively fruiting, and prune it at this height. There's the next bush. Now, this raspberry will have new shoots in the spring. We can prune it a little more. There will be new shoots. And it will fruit in the spring. It will fruit in early summer with the summer raspberries. But not everyone has summer raspberries, so you can make ever-bearing raspberries fruit twice like this. Of course, we make sure the canes are healthy, if there are diseases, if there are pests. Here, for example, we have a pest hiding, so all the canes are diseased. We cut all the shoots with pests right down to the ground, of course. We either burn them, or take them off the plot, or preferably to the woods. Well, wherever. So, this shoot will bear fruit in spring, and here in spring the raspberry will send out new shoots. Thinning will be necessary, of course, but these shoots will already bear fruit at the end of summer. That's literally August, September, about a month, they will already bear fruit. If you don't want, for example, your ever-bearing raspberry to bear fruit in early summer, for example, you have summer raspberries or you have other berries, then you can cut it to the ground and then the ever-bearing raspberry will gain strength and will bear fruit well at the end of summer. But in this case, we cut it to the ground. Don't make a mistake, because I saw in some videos that they show that you don't need to cut it to the ground. You still need to leave 5, 10 to 15 centimeters there. You need to cut it to the ground. This is my newly planted raspberry. I planted it myself. Now I will also cut it to the ground. If you leave some of your ever-bearing raspberries for fruiting, then you can treat these raspberries for diseases. Take, for example, Median Extra, Copper Shield, do disease prevention, so that the copper cauterizes all the diseases that were during the season. If, of course, you leave it for the second year. Since our ever-bearing raspberry takes a heavy load on itself, gives a lot of berries, very powerful, if good varieties, very powerful bushes, they drive out a lot. You see, they were just full of berries and can bear fruit twice. It is necessary to give feeding. We give feeding in the fall without fail. We use both organic and mineral fertilizers. For mineral fertilizer, we always use superphosphate. It has 19, 20 calcium, 32 sulfur. What does phosphorus do? It transforms over winter. And when the raspberries start in spring, develop their roots, have energy to bloom, phosphorus gives us good raspberry growth. We give 50 grams of superphosphate per linear meter. Don't give too much mineral fertilizer. It's better to apply fertilizer gradually, part in autumn, part in spring, to fully nourish our raspberries. They need a lot of feeding, but too many minerals near the roots can inhibit root system development and reduce our yield. So it's better to apply fertilizer gradually. 50 grams per linear meter is enough. Besides that, we always give our raspberries humus. It can be old compost. Organic matter is essential for raspberries. Raspberries need a lot of feeding. Not so much mineral feeding, because raspberries, I think, aren't as tasty with mineral feeding. If you combine mineral with organic, you get very tasty raspberry berries. Besides that, humus, old compost, is food for microorganisms that have a symbiosis with raspberries. They provide the raspberries with elements, make elements more accessible. Over the winter, microorganisms process this organic matter, and in spring the raspberries get many micro and macro elements for their development. Plus, applying humus under the raspberry root system protects it from freezing. Although these years our raspberries don't freeze anymore, there aren't such frosts. But even so, in some regions, under certain conditions, raspberries can freeze, so this will be extra mulch for the raspberry root system. Thanks to operations like pruning, sanitary trimming, and feeding, we'll get a good raspberry harvest in the spring. Everbearing raspberries are very productive. If you don't have them yet, be sure to plant some, and you'll have berries all year round. It's a sure thing that this crop will provide you with berries all year round. Yeah,